Well, I thought that I was ready. I cannot seem to get the PowerPoint to pull up so I can share the screen. So whoever has the ability to give some pointers as to how to do that, that'd be great.
If you have your window open, there should be on the bottom, there should be a button that says share screen.
Right.
Then if you press that, then we should be able now to actually see your screen and whatever it is that you want us to see actually.
Yeah, I can't even get the PowerPoint to open, which is frustrating me. I've been so as you can see, I'm still at work. I literally just dropped off my last patient in the recovery room. And so I am, I don't know, for those of you who just joined, I'm literally in an operating room, getting ready to try to give this in on the fly, trying to get this thing to open. So I brought my own laptop to work today. And for whatever reason, the PowerPoint doesn't want to seem to open right now. So Luke, you just kind of fill time while I figure it out.
Sure. Is it like it's not opening at all?
Yeah, my PowerPoint isn't opening at all.
Okay. Did you happen to have taken any notes where you can actually give us some pointers without the slide?
Yeah, I can do that as well.
Or in the meantime, I think that if you try to reboot, I mean, probably not reboot because that would just cut you out completely from the conversation. But as you try to open it, maybe for the people that may not know you, just introduce yourself a little bit, tell them a little bit about you and how you got started on your Beachbody journey a little bit.
Okay.
You can start off with that.
Oh, there it was. Okay, the computer is just slow.
Well, it happens. It's Monday. You got to give it time to wake up a little bit. It happens.
I guess so. So for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Yemi. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I actually didn't realize that I could do this as a business. I started doing Beachbody in, I think, 2007, actually. I started with Shalene, love Shalene. With the Turbo Jam. So I had the whole, the little blue gloves that came with Turbo Jam, and that's how I started. And I mean, I have Turbo Jam, and then I got Hip Hop Abs, and hung out with Sean T for a while with Insanity and Asylum, and Tony Horton's, anyway, I had some of his programs as well. And never really, at that point, I didn't realize that I could actually encourage others to have some of the same fantastic results that I was having. So, I'm really, really late to the game, even though I've been doing Beachbody for several years now. And got hooked up with Stephanie through a physician group and kind of drugged my feet and thought, oh, I'm just going to do this on my own and blah, blah, blah. And actually, one of the women physicians in that group posted that her sister lost 50 pounds in 4 rounds of 21-day fix. And it was like a light bulb went off for me. And I ordered 21-day fix on expedited shipping. And from that point, I got hooked up with Tony, formerly Williams. She's now Two Hayes. She was Williams at the time. And it's just been, the rest is history. It's been a wonderful journey since then, to where it has been awesome to grow and, discover new things about myself. It certainly hasn't been easy. I think the first few months, you're really excited, and then the reality that, this is work really sets in. And like, as you can see, I'm in my scrubs. I just got finished dropping a patient off in the PACU, so I have a full-time job. And then, I'm doing Beachbody, and because I truly believe in it, I have a vision for where it is that I want to be. And in that vision, actually was, I don't know why this computer is so slow. I don't know if I can't see myself, so I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to make this PowerPoint, like willing it to come up and get going here. But when I first started, I said, okay, by February, I want to be diamond. That was part of one of my big, scary goals. And it just didn't happen. You know, life has a way of, you know, saying, well, there's some other things that you have to focus on, some interruptions as far as jobs are concerned in our family. And just, you know, February has kind of been that month where I was like, whoa, what happened? And I thought that I wanted, you know, by February 1st, I wanted to have diamond locked up and ready to go. I mean, I wanted to look and at February 1st and see is like, okay, diamond is coming. And it just didn't. It really didn't. And so, you know, sometimes when things slow down, you just need that pep talk. You need to, you know, talk to yourself. You need to inject new enthusiasm into your vision, into your goals, revisit some things. And that's kind of how I approached the PowerPoint that I put together that is really still acting a fool. Okay, so let me see if I can share. Okay, can you guys see that now? Can you see that?
Yes, Yemi. Yes, mastering the art of thinking bigger. Yes, I can see it. Can I see thumbs up from other people if you can? Okay, I see some nods and thumbs up. Yes, Yemi, you're free to go.
Okay, cool. Now, how do I actually make this thing do the presentation?
So, so I'm looking at your screen, and I think the tab where it says slideshow, I think if you click that, it should not just take over the screen, and or that option will work as well.
All right. Whew, thank you. I mean, I could have done this from notes, but it's so much better when you have, you know, some great pictures and whatnot to go along with it. So, you know, we already, if you're in this business and especially if you're on this call, you already have thought big, because if you've talked to people, you've already identified some folks who, you know, they give you every excuse in the book, and you're like, yeah, I don't think that this opportunity is really for you at this point. You know, so you, just by being where it is that you are in this business, you've already thought big. But sometimes when we face those challenges or we face those setbacks, we need to move to that next level. We need to think bigger. So that's why I said, you know, not just mastering the art of thinking big, but the art of thinking bigger. And it really all starts with a decision. You know, that time that we decided, okay, we are going to become Beachbody coaches. That was a big decision. But when you want to take your business to that next level, you have to decide what's next in your life, and you have to have a strategy on how to get it. You know, because you can want to be diamond, you can want to be, you know, 1-star, 2-star, all the way like Stephanie, 5-star diamond. But if you don't have a strategy on how to get it, you're going to end up really, really lost. So that decision becomes your compass, you know, in deciding, okay, where is true north? How am I going to develop a strategy to get where it is that I want to go? So the future is sending you good wishes, awesome wishes, and it's waiting with open arms. So you match your future with that vision of yourself. And once you've made that decision, that is when you can continue on the path towards your goals. I just picked a year. You know, a year is 52 weeks. That's 365 days, or 525,600 seconds. What will you do with it? What could you do with it? Have you really thought about that? You know, this is, it's interesting that I'm giving this call on February 29th. We've got this extra Monday in February. You know, we had an extra 24 hours this year. I chose today to spend that time, even in between cases, inviting. So I wanted to focus on vital behaviors and send 7 extra invites, because on Mondays, that's what I do. I shoot for more invites on Mondays. And so I sent 7 extra invites. So imagine what you could do with that time that you're given. And a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I don't think I have any more time. But you can't really say that you don't have enough time, because you have the same number of hours per day that we're given to, whether it was Helen Keller, you think about the people that have accomplished such great things in our history, whether it was Louis Pasteur or Michelangelo, Mother Teresa. A lot of people like to quote Albert Einstein, Arthur Blank and Bernie Marcus. You guys may not know who those two are, but those two lost their jobs several years ago, before we had the big, home stores. And they came up with the idea that they want a big box store where you could have centralized place to go and buy all of your home goods. And 3 years after they lost their jobs, these guys are billionaires, and they are the masterminds behind Home Depot. We all know who Jeff Bezos is. Even Stephanie, let's bring it down to our levels. And in this business, we have the same number of hours per day as our upline diamond, as our 5-star diamond, whoever that is for you. And you look at how those people have spent the hours that they have in a day and their productivity, and you realize that you do have enough time, because we all have the same amount of time. And so one of the things that I want is this picture. Okay, good. I can move it. All right. So in terms of making that decision, really the best day of your life is the day on which you decide your life is your own. And I think a lot of us, when we came to Beachbody, maybe for some of us, that was the day that we decided, you know what, I'm taking my life under my control, because I have a vision, I have a dream, I have a desire to go higher. But a lot of times you'll find that, especially when you're, in this business, you'll find plenty of people who will say, what is it that you really think you're doing? Or stop bothering me. No, you know who you are, and you had a purpose before anyone else had an opinion. And your purpose is the reason you're on the journey that you're on, the reason that you are in this business. And the passion with which you do it is the fire that's lighting your way. So one of the things that, in terms of when we want to re-inject passion, when we've had a difficult time, is really sometimes we need to take a step back. And we need to revisit our top 5 values. There's a reason why when you come into this business, they sort of have you identify those 5 areas in which you're passionate about, those 5 areas that you spend time on social media posting about. And so once you know what your values are, it's absolutely not hard to make the decisions that you need to make. So, for those of you who haven't done it in a while, tonight is a great time to take a look back at those core values that you wrote down when you first joined the business. Maybe your core values have shifted a little bit. Maybe there have been weddings. Maybe there's been people who have experienced births during the time in which they entered this business and today. And so maybe your values have shifted a little bit. It would be a good idea to go ahead and revisit those core values so that you can make the decisions that you need to make to go higher and further in this business. One of the things that is also good to visit, if you haven't done so already, choose your mission. How many of you have a personal mission statement? I know I do. And your mission statement is really important, because your life really is worth a noble motive. And they can be short and sweet. Walt Disney, his mission in life was to make people happy. Eric Schmidt, that's the CEO of Google, his mission is to collect all the world's information and make it accessible to everyone. I took the time to write mine, and I just shared it on the screen with you. You know, my mission is to inspire wellness and balance in the world. I could, say full stop right there, but I do it through encouraging others to make health and fitness their priority, because I want them to believe that they're worth the investment in products that will improve their health status, and subsequently desire to make an impact in the lives of others by becoming wellness entrepreneurs. That's what I consider myself. I consider myself a wellness entrepreneur. So that's mine. So, if you haven't made a mission statement for yourself, make one. And if you have, read what you wrote the last time you wrote it. I think that in this business, people have figured out what works and what doesn't work. And so there's a reason why, I kind of consider your why kind of like your mission statement, but your mission statement takes your why and makes it very succinct and short and sweet and to the point. And so like I just said, in this business, they always want you to know your why. And your why is part of your compass. And one of the things that I always like to share is this video by Michael Jr. Many of you have probably seen it already. And I'll go ahead and just share it again tonight, because it's extremely powerful to watch this particular clip. Oh, can you hear it? Can you guys hear it?
I know that on my end, no. I'm seeing the image moving, but I don't hear anything.
Okay.
I'm sorry, brother. You scared me too, though.
Okay, I'm hearing it now.
What do you do for a living, Daryl? I work at Oak Ridge Military Academy. I'm the music director there. Musical director at Oak Ridge Musical Academy. Okay. Yeah. You got a deep voice, man. I would not want to get you mad. Jonathan, come here. Like, oh, snap. 9 Jonathan show up. Amazing, dude. So you're a musical director? Yes, sir. All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? We didn't plan this. Just so y'all know, we didn't plan this at all. I'm just randomly talking. Go ahead. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, once you give me the version, it's if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the little version real quick, if you know what version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found was blind, but now I ridiculous. Dude is just sitting in the audience with all of this skill, all this talent that I don't even know about. Wonder if you got some skills and some talents that folks don't know about that you kind of holding on to. There you go. A couple things I need you to do, like for real. Then you just gonna laugh and hey, I don't want you to do nothing. That's not how this is give and take. It's not take and take. I need you to subscribe. Just be watching the video just to watch.
Okay.
Mouse means vacate the premises.
All right. So the reason why, can you still hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So the reason why I really enjoy showing that clip is because you see in the first segment, Michael Jr., he's a Christian comedian and who tours the country, who's incredibly funny. And he has these segments called Break Time. And so that's just some random guy in the audience that he was interacting with at one of his shows. And so you saw in the first segment, he said, okay, just, you're a music teacher, give us a few bars of Amazing Grace. So in that first segment, he knew what it was that he was singing. And then when Michael Jr. gave him context, he knew why it was that he was singing it. And you saw the difference, and you saw the difference in how people were reacting to him in the audience. And so when you know your why, that is the passion that people respond to. And I just like to show that clip because it really, really, truly illustrates when you know your why, when you know what it is that you're passionate about, that people respond to that and people react to that. And that is what people are following. That is what people are joining. People are joining you and your why. They're not joining your what. So I hope that spoke to you guys. Now I got to get this. Okay. All right. So one of the things that is important to have in this business is a dream. If you don't have a dream, how can you have a dream come true? And in order to increase and to go higher in this business, you certainly have to write your goals down. And so a goal is simply a dream that's set to paper. And you can't just think it, you got to ink it. You really have to ink it because your imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions, as Albert Einstein said. And when you ink it, the difference, the research is there and the difference is clear because people who write down their goals earn 9 times as much over their lifetimes as people who don't. And 16% of us, we actually have goals, but we don't bother to write them down. Less than 4% actually write down their goals. Less than 4%. So those of you who have written down your goals, if you're in this business, you absolutely have written down your goals. You are in 4% of the population because you've actually taken the time to write down your goals. But how many of you guys actually review them on an ongoing basis? I would say that probably all of you are, because all of you are in contact with your upline and your upline diamonds, and therefore you are constantly reviewing your goals. But less than 1% of people actually review your goals or review their goals on an ongoing basis. One of the things that was really helpful to me in 2016 is I bought a planner. Luke, can you only see the screen or can you see my face as well?
No, I can see your slide and I have your face to the side of my screen, so I can see both.
Oh, you can see me as well?
Yes.
Okay. The planner that I bought this year is the Inner Guide. And one of the things that's really great about this planner is at the end of every month, or beginning of the month, you write down your personal goals. Where are you going? Your professional goals. choosing priorities for the month. And then at the end of the month, it has space for you to actually go and look and see what it is that you actually accomplished. So, because I got this thing in February, I don't have January filled out, but looking back, your top accomplishments, awakening your inner guide, assessing the month, so if you're not doing that on a monthly basis, it is extremely helpful to go and actually do that on a monthly basis. Some of you probably even do it on a weekly basis, but it really is important to review your goals on an ongoing basis, because people with clear written goals, the research shows it, accomplish far more in a shorter period of time than people without. We've talked before about big, hairy, scary goals, and just some people like to put an A in there instead of an H. I do, because I think it just provides emphasis, but we're keeping it clean. So big, hairy, scary goals. Think big, think big, think bigger. One of the biggest goals on my list is I want to climb Everest. It sounds crazy, but that's just something that I want to do. It's one of those things that seems like it's near impossible. But I mean, imagine if I said to myself that I want to climb Everest, for sure in my lifetime, Kilimanjaro and McKinley are doable, right? So, So I think that when we talk about our big, hairy, scary goals, those goals that just scare the absolute ever-loving crap, doo-doo, whatever you want to call it, those things that just really, really scare us, the problem is that most people in life, they don't aim too high and they miss. They aim too low and they hit. And so what would you attempt if you knew that you couldn't fail in this business? What is that goal in this business that honestly, it just scares you to death, that you probably have never even thought is possible? Look at Stephanie in this business. Look at, Sophia. Is it Sophia or Sophia? Sophie Bea, who you guys just spent the weekend with. Look at any of, the women that went to Miami earlier and had a wonderful time. What is it that you would attempt if you knew you could not fail? So think about your goals in those terms. Take failure off the table, and what is it that you would actually think bigger about. This is one of the stories that when I like to illustrate thinking big, this is kind of the story that I like to use to illustrate it. Starting with a paper clip. Do you really think that somebody could take a paper clip and trade that for a house? Well, this guy did.
You need to learn that trick.
My name's Kyle. I just had to trade a red paper clip for a house. One day I looked down at my desk and saw the red paper clip. It was actually this size. I traded this for a beer later. Put that on Craigslist, that picture. Want to trade for something bigger or better? What have you got? Two girls in Vancouver said, we've got a pen shaped like a fish. Met in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven gas station. Made the trade. Suddenly I had a pen shaped like a fish. Put that on Craigslist in the barter section. Next thing you know, down at Annie's house, and she offered up a doorknob with a very funny smiley face. Took the doorknob back home. Sure enough, it was fully functional. Posted the doorknob on the barter section of Craigslist. Hey, come down to Massachusetts. I've got a camping stove with your name on it. What do you think? I said, I think that's for me. Took the camping stove with fuel, put that on Craigslist. Next thing I knew, I was getting offers from a Marine sergeant who wanted to trade his 1,000-watt electric generator. I said, sounds good to me. Let's meet up. Went on to a Marine base, traded that stove for that generator. I thought this generator was great. Posted that on Craigslist. Next thing you know, I wound up in New York City with a generator. It got confiscated by the police. Had to go track it down. Almost got a ticket. It was a bit of a big deal. But I traded it for an instant party, and the instant party was a big hit. A lot of people want to party. The barter section was full of things. This was in Montreal. People like to party here. A column called Networthy in the Montreal Mirror picked up this story. The story in that Mike Citrone wrote got picked up by the I got picked up by the local news. It went around the world. Because of that one story there, one red paperclip went all over the world on blogs, and I was able to trade the the instant party for Michel Barret's snowmobile. If you don't know who Michel Barret is, Google him. He's kind of a big deal. He's all over the place. The snowmobile was awesome. I went on national TV. I said, I'll go anywhere in the world except for Yak, British Columbia, to make this trade. I thought it would be funny to say Yak on national TV. Sure enough, Jeff, who lived in Cranbrook, BC, Greater Yak, said, come to Yak, we have a snowmobile magazine, we want to trade with you. I said, yes, sweet, snowmobile, I'll make this trade. Trip for two to Yak, all expenses paid, let's do it. How do I get there? Bruno said, hey, why have you been wearing this shirt the entire time you've been wearing this stuff? I said, it's an inside joke, my brother. My cousin's friend named Ricky was wearing the shirt, he gave it to me as a joke. Bruno said, we want to promote you. Here's a van, drive to Yak in the van with the snowmobile. I said, sweet, we went to Yak. I traded that van for a recording contract. A huge van for a promise. It was sweet, didn't have brake lines, didn't have fuel, no problems there. Drove over, a few people wanted a recording contract. I ended up trading the recording contract with a woman named Jody Gannon, who owned that house. The left half was vacant. She says, I want to record my album. What do you say, 1 year free rent in Phoenix? I said, yes, absolutely, let's do it. Her next door neighbor, named Leslie, actually happened to work for Alice Cooper in his restaurant. She says, I can get you an afternoon with Alice Cooper for that 1 year rent. I'll move next door. What do you say? I said, yes, absolutely. We took Alice Cooper's head. I went on stage in Fargo, North Dakota, and I traded Alice Cooper, an afternoon with Alice Cooper, for a Kiss snow globe. The world, the blogosphere, everyone went crazy. They said, you're nuts. No one's going to want this. The thing I didn't tell anyone, I kept it secret, was that a fellow named Corbin Burnson, the actor from Major League and LA Law, actually has a collection of over 7,000 snow globes. He offered up a paid speaking credited role in a Hollywood film for that snow globe. I said yes. We got the hell out of there pretty quick. Next thing you know, the phone rang. It was Bert Roach in Kipling, Saskatchewan, and he says, we're going to offer you a house at 503 Main Street in Kipling, Saskatchewan. That's how I traded a paperclip for a house. The best part was the housewarming party. Kipling, Saskatchewan, population of 1,000. Over the Labor Day weekend in 2006, over 3,000 people came to town. They held auditions for the movie role in town. Kipling Idol, local resident named Nolan Hubbard, 19 years of age, just graduated high school, was working for minimum wage at Bottle Depot, suddenly won a movie role. 2 months after that picture was taken, he was in Hollywood, filming a movie. This was much more gratifying than owning a house in Kipling. This was like someone else getting to live their dream. Everyone I knew was there pretty much, all my family, all my friends. All of the people I traded with along the way were there. People were saying, wow, everyone's here, this is great, you have a house. Don't you wish you still had that red paperclip though? That red paperclip's got to be worth a fortune now, it's famous, it's world famous. I look them in the eye and say the same thing I do every day until that, from that point to now. If I never traded that red paperclip away, I'd just be a guy sitting in this apartment with an idea. Anyway, your paperclips.
So, exactly. If he had not thought big enough to trade his red paperclip, as silly as that may sound, he'd be just a guy in a house with an idea. So, what is your red paperclip? For each of you, you can think, the sky is the limit. If this guy can take a paperclip and end up with a house, imagine what you can do with this business. So, what is your red paperclip? I think that each of us has to give ourselves permission to aim high in our work lives and in this business. And when we take time to dream and to plan, that is where our red paperclip becomes a house. And, at first, so many of our dreams may seem impossible, and then they may seem improbable. But if we summon enough courage, if we summon enough will, soon they will seem inevitable. You know, from the impossible to the improbable to the inevitable. How many of us, especially those of us who started out grossly overweight, thought that by joining Beachbody, by working the system, by cleaning up our nutrition, would be making our dreams come true, whether we are, reaching for emerald, whether we are emeralds or diamonds. Somehow, some way, we expanded our vision of ourselves, and we thought about it. We analyzed, we did some planning, we tried it. Some things worked, we tried something again. We did it again and again, and we kept going until we figured out we could be successful. And what are those things that we do again and again and again are the vital behaviors. Those are the things that are going to help us be successful. And then how do we reach? How do we get to that next level? By having some big, scary goals, by taking that red paperclip, getting off the couch, and getting going in our training. And so a lot of times when we have those big, big, scary goals, it's easier to chunk it. It's easier to break it down into the smaller bits. And so when we start to break down our goals into bite-sized chunks, even your biggest, most daunting goals, can be achieved. And so if you think about it, over time, the sum total of a lot of little efforts all of a sudden isn't so little anymore. And when we repeat those efforts day in, day out, whether it's, Mondays that you decide is your magic Monday. Like I said, on Mondays, I take Mondays and I look forward to Mondays because after the weekend, I've kind of taken things easy a little bit. Mondays are the days that I, really try to step up my vital behaviors and invite at least 7 more people, because I try to aim for 3 people a day. So on Mondays, it's 10. So that I've kind of called that Magic Monday. But that's just one of the ways in which I've broken, the sort of, in this group, we call it Dash to Diamond, broken down my Dash to Diamond into that, bite-sized chunk. And so I really like this quote by Shel Silverstein. You can listen to the mustn'ts, you can listen to the don'ts, you can listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, and the won'ts. You can listen to the never haves, but then listen close to me. Anything can happen. Anything can be. And really, when you put your mind to it, when you create the vision for it, when you know your values, when you have your mission statement, anything can happen. Anything can be. As you saw, a guy took a red paperclip and ended up with a house. So set your own course, because either you're living out somebody else's dream or you're setting your own course. You're saying yes to your own ideas. And you have to write down all the reasons they will work. So when you have that big, hairy, scary goal, you've said yes to your own idea. And you got to write down all the reasons that they will work. Because believe me, in this business, as many of you have found, some people are just downright rude. There will be plenty of people. There are plenty of people to sit and tell you why something won't work. And, I think that E.E. Cummings said it best when he said, to be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to make you everybody else. It means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight and never, ever start fighting. So you have to be nobody but yourself in this business. You have to say yes to your own ideas. You have to live out your own dream and set your own course. And it's easier to do that when you surround yourself with people who believe that you can. Because like I said, you'll find plenty of people who will be able to tell you why it is that you can't be successful in this business, or why you can't reach that next big, hairy, scary goal. And, Oprah Winfrey has a great quote in terms of, one of her best moves is to surround herself. And one of your best moves is to surround yourself with friends, with people, like-minded people who, instead of asking, why, are instead quick to say, why not? Because the attitude is absolutely, unbelievably contagious. And so why not you? Why not now? A lot of times we kind of wait for someday or one day. Tony tells me a lot, well, why wait until all the way then? No, you can do that now. So, today, now, right now, pick your biggest, scary, hairiest goal and list the 5 things that you've been procrastinating about and plan to take at least a little bit of action on all 5 this week. It's Monday. You can start strong and finish February stronger than you started it. Because you have to know absolutely how amazing you truly are. And I think that the future you see is the future you get. So the bigger you dream, the bigger your future. So think bigger. All right, that's all I got, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Yemi. That was actually fantastic. It's interesting because before I found out that you were the one speaking tonight, I woke up with this whole idea of there was this quote that I posted today talking about, like how people can complain that like you're thinking too big versus, people are thinking or dreaming too small. So it's interesting how I was inspired by that the whole day, and you talked about the power of thinking big or bigger. I love this presentation. Thank you. One thing that I would say is, I don't know if everybody got to hear the videos with the same quality as I did, but if you would be kind enough to post the link of those 2 videos under the post of the call tonight, or make a separate post for it so that people can just click on it and view them and see them again and take more notes or be inspired a little bit more by what we say, because I think those videos were very important. And we can always be inspired and learn from anyone and everyone from different walks of life, or whether it would be a comedian, a doctor, or whatever have you. So thank you for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it. I'm actually going to open up the floor right now for questions. If there's anyone that wants to ask anything or share any comments, now would be the time. And I don't know if people are asking on the chat. Let's see.
Okay, so I see one that says, what has been my greatest challenge?
Okay, yeah, I just see that right now. Yep, from Crystal, yes.
Oh my goodness. I think in the beginning, my greatest challenge was, because I am a physician, one of the greatest challenges that I had to overcome was just getting out of my own way, getting out of my own head. At first, I was very worried what people would think, because I got a lot of people like, are you even an anesthesiologist anymore? And so sometimes when you see physicians kind of going off into different career paths, the first thing people think is, disaster struck, or especially in my field as an anesthesiologist, people who have to enter different types of rehab programs. So that's what I thought, I thought that people would think that I had got a hold of my own drugs and ended up having to go into rehab and surrendering my license and not practicing anesthesia anymore. And so here is this thing that I was doing, and that nobody would take me seriously. So that was one of my greatest challenges. And I think that it's probably a challenge that a lot of us have is, just getting out of our own way. Sometimes we can be our own, our greatest stumbling blocks is, thinking too much about what other people think. And that's one of the things that Stephanie talks about a lot is she talks about how she just had zero cares about what anybody else thought. And, she posted a lot. She was just like, this is what I'm doing, and I'm super duper excited about it. I really don't care if you don't like it. This is what I'm doing, and I'm really proud of what it is that I'm doing. And so it took me a while to get to that point and to not really care what anybody else thought.
Let's share something.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Thank you. All right, I just got home. Thank you, Yemi. I heard the presentation on my way home from work, and I was super excited to hear that you were going to be talking about vision and dreaming big, and just really encouraging people to dream big. Because honestly, there's a book I'm reading right now called 10X. It's a great book. It's by Grant Cardone. Great book called 10X. And so he has Luke loves one of his chapters. I'll have to share, but he is someone that really talks about the idea of dreaming big, and really stresses the idea that usually, like you said, most people do not dream big, but also most people really underestimate the effort that it will take to accomplish their goals. And so if you, right now, whatever effort you think it's going to take to accomplish your goals, you need to think 10 times more that in order to be able to truly accomplish your goals. And I think for me, being in this business for as long as I have been, almost 3 years, and really mentoring a lot of women in this business, this is the biggest problem, or I should say the biggest setback that a lot of women have, is that they do not dream big for themselves. And a lot of people really do get really scared. And like you said, Yemi, you want people to dream big and not to lower those dreams, because that's not, you're not going to, you're basically really limiting yourself in how much you can grow and what you can accomplish in your life. So I really enjoyed this topic. This probably, if I can encourage all of you ladies that are still on the call, is to really think about what you would accomplish if you could not fail. Never once did I think I would fail at this. Yes, there were hardships. Yes, there have been obstacles, but never once did I ever consider giving up, and never once did I ever think about leaving, being a coach. There are many times where I say, wow, this is really hard. This is hard. And sometimes I tell people, those closest to me who know me a lot, I tell them all the time, this is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Because like Yemi and Tony and other women on here, whether you went on to get a doctorate in medicine or a PhD, or you go on for your master's, you had that vision of accomplishing, of being a doctor or being a nurse, or getting that master's degree. When you start your college education, you know where you want to go. You have a vision. And so in your mind, you are strapping up your boots. You're getting ready for the years of sacrifice and the years of hard work and the years of delayed gratification to reach that. That is the same thing with a business. It's the same thing with an endeavor like this. You have to come in with the same mindset that it's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in 6 months. It's not going to happen in a year that you're going to make 6 figures. You need to really have that mindset that this is a new second profession, and you have the vision that, okay, I need to figure this whole thing out. Also, I'm working full time. Also, I have a family and I'm a mom, or I take care of my parents, or there's just life and obstacles that happen. You have to have that kind of expectation and that mindset. But the most important thing is having the vision. And so I'm so happy, again, that you talked about this, having that vision, having a mission statement for yourself so that you know why you're working towards this is really, really important. So that's kind of what I want to share, because I find that a lot of people give up before they even really start. And it's really sad because, like you said, Yemi, and like they said, that guy in the audience of that video clip you shared with us, so many people have so many talents and gifts that they can give to the world, and passions that they have to give to the world that they do not give because of financial reasons, or because of depression, or because of anxiety, or because of a lot of limiting things that are stopping them. And I always talk about Sophie, and you guys will hear about it on the Super Saturday. I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about it on the Super Saturday video. But I mention her because she's such a great example of someone who is able to live out her passion for mission work and for God and for her faith. But yet when I met her, she was very depressed, suicidal, really at the lowest of her lows. And had she not embraced something like this and really worked on herself and really pushed herself to grow personally, like you need to do in this business, but then also to start setting up the building blocks so that she can create a good financial situation for herself so she can pursue her passions. That's what you guys need to think about. So thinking about what you can use this business to really help you develop what your unique gifts are to give to the world. Like Yemi was saying, you guys are all really amazing, but there's a lot of you who are on this call, and also you who will listen to this call, that you have a lot of limiting beliefs that are going to stop you, that are really going to stop you from being able to give your very best of the gifts that you have been given. So that's it. That's all I have to say. Anything else? No? Awesome. All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on the call, and thank you, Yemi. I know I can't, it really means a lot, and that you're doing this from an operating room is really awesome. It goes to show that, oh, thank you, Crystal. It goes to show that, guys, we're all very busy. None of us are sitting around like twiddling our thumbs, looking at the world to kind of drive us, go by. But we have like Yemi was saying, we have a mission that we have, for ourselves and for why we do this. And so just remember that as you're kind of going through this, know that the most successful people are not people who have all this time. They just make the time for what's important to them, and they make good usage of their time, and they work smart. Not that they work more all the time, but that they work smart with their time. So awesome, everybody. Yes. All right, guys. So we'll post this recording, and we'll see you next week. Next week we'll have another speaker. So awesome. Bye.